looking for the at-large bid.
All right, we're ready for basketball. The opening tip-off goes to Pacific, and we are underway from the Sobrato Center at War Memorial Gym. Lamar Washington running the offense for UOP. This is a team that averages just under 70 points per game.
Yeah, offense is not the problem with the Tigers. It's all about how they're going to play defense.
This is Elias Ralph. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Fisher, mid-range is pure.
So that's a great way to start for Fisher, getting inside, put him in a spin cycle, was able to shoot over the top of the defender. First basket of the game.
Elias Fisher, their leading scorer this year, 15.5 points per game. 5th best in the WCC. This is the leading scorer in the conference. Malik Thomas into the paint. Out for Wong, straightaway 3. And a nice rebound by Labali.
Nice job getting inside, get a paint touch, came to a jump stop, reversed it out, was not able to finish the jump shot.
You can see the size of Jazz Gardner inside. Koulibaly outside for Washington. Deep 3. A little too strong, and a loose ball foul going against the Tigers.
You know, Washington has the ability to put the ball in the basket, averaging 13.7 points per game, but he also number 4 in the WCC in the helpers as well.
That foul going against Jazz Gardner, the 7-footer from Pasadena. A lot of transfers on this UOP team, 10 of them to be exact.
Yeah, they were active in the portal, trying to rebrand the team.
Marcus Williams for Wong in the post to Lingard. Nice skip pass for Riley. Couldn't connect on the 3 though.
Nice job on the double team. They'll get a great job of spacing it out to the open shooter.
UOP, the early 2-point lead. Just under 2 minutes in from San Francisco. Good hands. This one on the floor. Somehow Pacific able to maintain possession. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Washington, pretty feed for Gardner. And it's 4-0 Tigers.
Right man, right spot. Gardner right there, got to the open spot.
Thomas doesn't waste any time. And USF has missed their first 3 from the field.
And you see the energy level for the Tigers. They believe they can win this game, pull the upset tonight.
That would have been a 3 for Fisher, but it wouldn't go down. USF still looking to get on the board. Williams from beyond the arc. Great rebound by Riley, and he puts it back.
Second chance opportunity, was able to score for Riley, his first bucket of the game. But I can sense some nerves for the Dons so far on this senior night. It's have to calm down, get into the flow of the game.
Tyrone Riley, the 4th, a freshman from Southern California, having a tremendous year. He's already won the WCC Freshman of the Week award twice. Ralph, step back 3. That's an air ball and out of bounds.
That's great defense by Wang, contesting the shot. Ralph with the air ball.
He replaces Tyrone Riley.
An early substitution for Chris Gerlifson as Ryan Beasley into the game. The sophomore from San Ramon. Started slow, but he has come on strong in conference play. Provides a really nice spark for this Dons team off the bench.
Nice job by Williams. He turned down the screen, trying to get downhill. Great defense by the Tigers.
Lingard with 8 to shoot. Across for Beasley. The floater is good.
So Lingard did a great job of recognizing the double team. Was able to get over to Beasley. Beasley was able to get inside, get into his trick bag, and use a nice little floater for the ball.
Ryan Beasley was the WCC Freshman of the Year last season. And as we said, he's really started to play better in conference, better than 10 points per game in the WCC. There's Lamar Washington getting his first 2.
A nice strong move by Washington. Went to his offhand, was able to finish, kiss it off the window for the bucket.
Off the hands of Thomas and out of bounds.
Thomas took his eyes off the basketball, was anticipating the catch first. First thing you have to do, Ben, you have to make sure you catch the ball first and then get into your move.
So the defense has been solid for both sides in these first 4 minutes. 6-4 Pacific.
Yeah, sort of a rock fight so far as we start the game. You anticipate the game will get into some sort of rhythm.
Fisher outside for Ralph. To the corner. With Katar Kravakovic. Good defense by the Dons. Getting late into the shot clock again. 4 to shoot for Washington. Williams comes up with the steal, and Washington gets the foul.
Yes, great defense by Williams. Stayed composed defensively, kept his eyes on the hips of Washington, got the steal for the turnover, and Washington made the foul.
We'll take a timeout. 15:33 to go in the half. Pacific, the early 2-point lead. Pacific, a 6-4 lead on USF. Senior night here on the hilltop, and we now turn to the third member of our broadcast crew with more on that, Sophia Jones.
San Francisco has celebrated 6 seniors tonight. They had the ceremony pregame, really establishing an atmosphere of remembrance here. And I spoke to Coach Gerlifson yesterday at practice about the significance of today, and he was very reflective. He told me that it's a bittersweet day, and he really just wants to honor his players the right way. And I spoke to one of the honorees, Malik Thomas, and his response was of enthusiasm. He told me that it's crazy seeing how fast time goes by when you're having fun, and that every game is significant and big, but this is one of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Joaquin, we talked about it. You got to manage those emotions, right?
Absolutely, because, you know, it's, again, at some point you realize that your career is coming to an end, but the great thing about it, they know the USF have a couple more games on the road and also postseason play.
Malik Thomas steps into a 3. That's too strong. Nice rebound by Williams. And he puts it in off the glass, ties it at 6.
I love how Williams was able to grab the basketball on the rebound, relocate, and use the window, a lost art in today's game.
Such a nice injury as a head coach when you've got 2 guards like Malik Thomas and Marcus Williams. I mean, that's going to have you in every game, right? The game has changed over the years, but having guards, that has always been important. Nice strip by Wong.
Yeah, Wong did a great job of getting his hand in the cookie jar, was able to get that live ball turnover. But you're absolutely correct. When you have 2 guards that initiate the offense, you know at the collegiate level, it's all about guard play. You look at the teams that's been successful. Which team has the best set of guards? Well, USF, they have 2 of them.
That last foul on Fisher for Pacific. Now 3 team fouls for the Tigers in this first half. Still none for USF. Pacific 3 for 8 from the field. USF 3 for 9. The defense has certainly been stout both ways.
Both teams has been really good defensively, as you mentioned.
Long can't connect from deep. Neither team has hit a 3. USF now 0 for 6. Pacific 0 for 4. Nice pass out to Washington. The extra pass to Fisher. And he can't break that lid. 3-point range.
You couldn't draw it up better than that. Was able to reverse the basketball to the second side. Was not able to complete the deal.
Well, I think we got lids on the basket right now, Joaquin, because these are some good looks from 3. They're just not falling.
And as I said earlier, it's a lot of emotions in this game. You have to settle into some sort of rhythm.
Ralph took too many steps trying to make that move. Turnover number 2 for UOP.
Yeah, we talked about it. You had the Tigers shooting 33%. USF shooting 27%. This is not a work of art offensively. If you take a look at it, I'm sure they're going to warm up later on. That's what we hope anyway, because this is a true rock fight so far.
We have seen this from USF a few times this year. They tend to start slow and then really pick it up. But the one thing that never goes away is their defense, and that has kept them in games. And we're seeing that tonight. 6-6 with 13.5 to go in this opening half. Riley with 8 on the clock. Side for Beasley. Got to put up a shot. Nice dish. And O'Donnell gets fouled going up. That's the freshman James O'Donnell from Sydney, Australia. He'll get a chance to go to the line.
Yeah, Beasley did a great job of breaking down the defense, showed his liquidity with the basketball, was able to get it to the big man down low, was fouled, has opportunity for free throws, O'Donnell.
Well, it's an area he struggled this year. Just 11 for 27 at the line. That's 41%. So we'll see if we can cash in. And he does hit the first one.
And usually when the announcers provide that type of stat, they prove them wrong by hitting the first one at least.
That was like a reverse announcer jinx, because usually I would jinx someone into missing.
Absolutely.
Let's see if he can make it 2 for 2. In and out. So 1 for 2 at the line for James O'Donnell. 7-6 USF. The Dons trying to go undefeated at home this season as Malik Thomas picks up his first foul.
Fisher did a great job of taking the screen and getting downhill. Thomas with the foul on the floor.
That's the first team foul for USF tonight. Tigers looking for their 10th win of the year. They only won 6 all of last season. Again, this is a program you can tell heading in the right direction under first-year head coach Dave Smart.
USF switched their defense to a 2-3 zone.
Fisher from straight away, and there's the first 3 of the night.
And typically, Ben, when you use a zone defense, you try to steal a possession. The Tigers did a great job of rotating the basketball and was able to line it up and knock it down from behind the arc.
Beasley for Benabosi. Works his way toward the basket. Pass stripped away, but he got it right back. Shot blocked, but a foul.
Initially, the defense was outstanding. The vertical spacers down low was able to, for the first rejection, but Obosi continued with the basketball. Was able to go up strong here. Now he'll shoot free throws as well.
Obosi, another freshman who has struggled at the line, 7 for 20. Let's see if he can prove me wrong as well. His first one on the way, too strong. Well, as a team, USF 71% at the line. Of course, we've got some excellent free throw shooters in Malik Thomas and Marcus Williams. Let's see if Obosi can hit the second one, but first the officials coming over to the Pacific bench. Now the teams will both go back to their respective benches.
So you have some blood on the floor. One of the players looked like Ralph in a nosebleed.
Timeout on the floor.
And I think they're going to take the under 12 timeout right now, so we'll take the break too. 12:24 to go in this first half. Pacific leading at 9-7 on ESPN Plus.
Learn more at abm.com.
For senior night at War Memorial Gym, USF looking for their 8th straight win over Pacific. Here's the second free throw from Obosi, and that one's good.
Number 35, Barry Wong returns.
I tell you what, Ben, both teams are struggling from behind the arc. There's only been 1 3 made so far. That's by Pacific.
Yeah, they're a combined 1 for 13 right now. So we're going to credit the defense. That's what we like to do. 9-8 UOP with the ball. Koulibaly calling out signals. Fisher, the mid-range jumper, short. And Williams skies for the rebounds.
And that's an advantage when you have guards that can rebound the basketball, they can initiate your offense as well.
Pacific trying to add to this 1-point lead. Again, the last time these teams met, it was a very close game in Stockton early January. Nice move by Fisher, and he gets it to go, plus the foul.
Yeah, Fisher is percolating early, leading all scores with 5 points, now 7, has an opportunity for his 8th point of the game.
Riley tried to stay with him there, but how about the move inside and then finishing through contact.
Yeah, I love how he came to a jump stop, shot lift, got the defender in the air and right into the body of the defender.
Fisher, a 73% free throw shooter, but can't convert there, and so it remains 11-8. So as you said, Doc, he's got 7 points to lead all scorers. He had 25 in the last meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, he definitely feels confident, feels he can win his matchup.
Williams, oh, that's a pretty feed, and the two-hand flush by Riley.
It's a nice job by Williams to keep his chin up. was able to find Riley cutting to the front of the rim for the flush.
Marcus Williams averaging 4.3 assists per game this year, 6th most in the West Coast Conference. 11-10 Pacific. Krvakovic for 3, that rims out. Stays in play, and Williams has it for the Dons.
Both teams are doing a great job of passing out of the double team once it goes to the post, finding their open shooters.
Only a matter of time until some of these threes start dropping. Thomas, good defense, double teamed, Lingard straight away, and that won't fall.
And that's, again, that is great defense by Ralph. He was able to take the contact of Williams trying to get to the front of the rim. I'm sorry, Thomas was able to deny and turn him away.
First personal.
Krvakovic picks up his first. That's now 16 fouls, though, on Pacific. So with 10.5 minutes to play from here on out, USF going to be in the bonus.
That bodes well for the Dons.
Williams still can't find the range from 3. USF now 0 for 10 beyond the arc.
That was a great rebound by Gardner. He was able to grab it at the top. High point of the basketball.
Ralph, the senior from Alberta, Canada. That's a nice baseline jumper.
Yeah, that's a big time move by Ralph. Was able to go over his right shoulder. Little mid-range jumper. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
He's top in the conference in points, rebounds, and blocks. And now gets the steal. And Lingard with the foul.
Like to see your players play on both sides of the basketball. Was able to knock down the mid-range shot after hitting the nose. You see the napkin in his nose there to stop the bleeding. Comes right back and get a steal as well, showing his toughness. He's from Canada. He may have played hockey as well.
Yeah, the 2 leading scorers on this team, Elias Ralph and Elijah Fisher, both natives of Canada. 4 Canadian natives on this roster. It makes sense. Dave Smart, one of the most successful Canadian college coaches before coming here to Pacific.
So you say he has a pipeline coming to the
pipeline
U.S.
going, much like St. Mary's with Australia, right? Here's Krvakovic. 3-point lead in the ball for the Tigers. Fisher with 4 to shoot, spinning over the top of Thomas. And the rebound comes down to Jason Rivera-Torres.
Nice overall team defense. Forced Fisher into a contested jump shot.
USF struggling on the offensive end, but their defense is keeping them in this game, down just 3. Lingard for the tie, in and out.
Nice look by Lingard, was not able to knock it down, in and out, but again, at some point, these threes will start falling for either one of these teams.
USF 0 for 11 now from 3, Pacific 1 for 7. Fisher inside and over the top of Lingard.
Fisher's done a great job of getting inside to the teeth of the defense, took the screen roll, hopped into the lane, jump stop, used his body, was able to finish.
Well, Chris Gerlifson wants to use his
first side, as I mentioned earlier. Coaching senior night is difficult as well too, because you have to deal with the emotions of the game as well. The players look kind of, they look kind of tight right now coming out, so they'll loosen up. But hopefully, before the Tigers get really out, they have to make sure they keep them in contact.
Yep.
And try to hopefully have a lead at half going into the second half.
This is the biggest lead of the game for either team right now. A 5-point advantage for Pacific. Thomas into the paint from the free throw line. Tough shot, got it to fall.
And that's a great job by Thomas, and great timeout as well to settle his guys. He was able to jump stop, get into the mid area, use the mid-range jump shot.
How about the strip by Williams? Ahead for Riley. And he draws the foul from Elias Ralph. That's going to be his 2nd personal.
Williams did a great job of the advanced pass, trying to play fast. There's the foul on the floor by Ralph. That's the 2nd foul. So be interesting if he will come out of the game at this point. 8-11 left. Definitely going to need him. Don't want to pick up that 3rd foul. Remaining 8 minutes in the first half.
Yeah, I thought Ralph did a pretty good job, at least initially, of going up being vertical, but then you saw at the end he came down. So Tyrone Riley with a couple of free throws, hits the first one.
Yeah, in that situation there, you like to go A to A. He went A to B, and that's where the foul was made. And definitely he'll probably have to sit at least to the next under 4 timeout. He may bring him in at that point, but you don't want him to pick up that third foul. He's going to need him for the second half.
Riley is a 73% free throw shooter. And he gets that one to go. He's 2 for 2 at the line, cuts the lead to 1.
So we talked about the Dons able to play defense, which keeping them in this game only down by 2. Both teams, again, the Dons are shooting 29%, they're only down by 2.
Under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Washington, oh, that was nice. Laid in at the last moment by Chris Caney.
And that was a great contest by Riley, but right man, right spot, was able to finish.
Beasley inside for 2.
He's showing his liquidity with the basketball. Was show and go, was able to use the window.
Back to a 1-point game. Pacific up 17-16. Washington double teamed. His pass intercepted by Riley, and he throws it down.
So Riley did a great job of reading the pass. While Washington, easy layup, live ball turnover. Dons up by 1.
So on senior night, it's the freshman Tyrone Riley, the 4th, leading the way with 8 points. USF regains the lead.
And this is where the game's going to be won or lost. On the defensive side of the basketball, you see they're ramping it up defensively.
Washington had a pretty good look. It wouldn't go. Last touch by USF. So it'll be, maybe they said it was last touch by Pacific. We'll see. Timeout on the floor. 6:55 to go in the first half.
He's one of the most highly regarded Canadian basketball coaches of all time. He won 13 national championships, and he's a large reason why former Texas Tech players Lamar Washington and Elijah Fisher are here at Pacific.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, he is a highly respected basketball coach and a basketball mind. That's going to be an offensive foul, and for Lamar Washington, that's now 2 personals. So you got Washington with 2. I'll check that. It was on Jazz Gardner, excuse me.
Yeah,
but
Gardner.
It is 2 on Gardner and also 2 on Ralph.
Yeah, Gardner pushed the defender down on the screen and roll right in front of the official. Easy call.
If you're going to do that, you got to do it not right in front of the official. That's
yeah, you have to do it on the other side of the official when they're not looking.
Thomas into the paint. They work it around for Riley. 18-17 USF lead. And that is going to be called a carry. Third turnover for USF. 5 first half turnovers for Pacific.
I've seen the idea with Washington. He was trying to go a baseline drive with the drift. The official called it.
This game has featured 3 lead changes, 2 ties. And back and forth in this first half. Good defense by both teams. Caney's for 3, and he gets it to go. Second 3-pointer of the game.
Nice man movement and ball movement. Was able to find Caney's in the left corner, 10 toes behind the line. Was able to knock down the long ball.
Beasley out for Williams. Thought about the 3. What a pass. Riley reverse layup wouldn't go. And Washington has it for the Tigers.
Again, Williams was able to get inside with the dish. Was not able to complete the deal.
Beasley wants to push. Numbers for the Dons. Miscommunication, and he was looking for the lob, and that's going to be a USF foul.
Yeah, Beasley, I would have been happy if he'd have gave it up a little bit earlier there. Kind of held the ball a little bit too long. Got in the air, didn't have nowhere to go. It was nice defense as well. You can see here, that pass needed to be made just a tad earlier, allow the defender to understand and recognize, and was able to deflect it.
Just the 3rd team foul for USF, so they're in pretty good shape as far as that's concerned. Pacific with 8. And as we talked about already, 2 Tigers with 2 personal fouls, Gardner and Ralph.
Coach Smart is going to have to negotiate, have 2 of his best players with 2 fouls. We have the under 4-minute timeout remaining. Maybe they can get one of those guys in, but you don't want to risk the 3rd foul.
They've still got the 2-point lead, even with that foul trouble. Brooke Smith well short, offensive rebound, Caney's. Washington trying to go baseline. He draws a foul.
Nice quickness by Washington, tried to go baseline.
USF, number 55, Marcus Williams.
Williams got his hand in the cookie jar for his first personal foul.
Number 5 of the half for the Dogs.
Well, Lamar Washington with 2 assists in this game. We're keeping an eye on that because he came in just 9 away from the all-time single-season Pacific record. He's now up to 171 assists this year. The record 178. Ball loose on the floor, shot clock running down. Caney's back 3. Good defense.
That was textbook defense by Abosi there.
Thomas wide open for 3, and he gets fouled. The last thing that Jefferson Coulibaly wanted to do.
Yeah, the rule is you don't foul a jump shooter. You want to jump to the side. And you have 3 free throws for Thomas.
Malik Thomas was fouled attempting a 3-point shot.
So now you send Thomas, who's an 84% free throw shooter, to the line, and let's hear from Sophia Jones.
Thomas reached a 1,000-point milestone last game versus LMU. He's leading scorer in the conference right now. And when I spoke to him yesterday at practice, he told me that it's been a journey from not playing for 2 years at USF. He only had 70 points when he got here to USF as a junior. He just credits his support staff, family, and his coaches for allowing him to play his game and be a dynamic scorer. He then finished with telling me all the hard work and long nights and early mornings, it's been worth it.
You just love to see the success for a guy like that, Sophia, who's kept working, plays the game the right way. And he does it on both ends of the floor, too. He leads the conference in steals.
What's more impressive is that you scored 1,000 points in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows consistency. He had to ramp it up quickly, not only scoring 70 points while he was at USC. So
that's a great point, yeah. Well, as we said, he leads the conference, 19.4 points per game. Even better in West Coast Conference play at 20.6. Williams, a little thunder.
And Ben, as I mentioned earlier, when you have both Williams at that point guard position, it makes it so difficult because both of them can initiate it, and you're not running your offense without having one of those two on the floor.
USF foul number 13, Robbie Beasley.
Robbie Beasley picking up that foul.
Team
That's
foul
now
number 6
16
of the half
fouls
on the
for USF.
So, Ben, you know, typically when your point guard goes out, you go to your backup. In this case here, they're interchangeable between Thomas and Williams. So one goes out, you're still fine. When Williams goes out, Thomas can take over the point guard duties as well.
Yeah, again, it's a really nice luxury to have as a head coach, as that's now team foul number 7, Jason Rivera-Torres. Sending Elijah Fisher to the line for a 1-and-1. 73% free throw shooter. And he misses the front end. Nice tap out by Burke Smith. The 3 wouldn't fall for Washington.
The second chance opportunity on broken plays like that, you like to convert.
Abosi, couple of pump fakes, back outside. 3-point lead for USF. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. And Abosi well off with the 3. USF now 0 for 13 behind the 3-point line, but still up. Washington for Smith. 2-man game up high, gets the screen. Washington all the way, lays it in.
That's a nice job by Washington to negotiate the ball screen. Was able to get downhill, used his offhand and flipped it off the window for the bucket.
Washington just 2 for 8 from the floor, but he is contributing in other areas. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. O'Donnell hands it off for JRT. His 3 still can't find the range. And now Pacific a chance to regain the lead. Coulibaly, baseline. Caney's for 3. The battle for the rebound comes right back to Caney's for the flush.
Caney's right man, right spot on the deflection. Second chance opportunities. Was able to flush it home.
The sophomore from Lithuania. There's the first three for USF. Marcus Williams puts the Dons back in front.
Nice job by Williams to take the screen, get to an area on the floor where he felt confident, was able to knock it down.
Marcus Williams, 7 points, 3 of 5 from the floor in this first half. All the way across for Koulibaly. Couldn't connect on the three. And now JRT the other way for USF. Little running hook shot, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Torres did a great job of getting inside, jump hook over his left shoulder, came to a nice jump stop, has an opportunity for free throws.
We'll take a timeout with 1:57 to go in the half. USF leading at 26-24. Back in a moment. And Sophia Jones has more on the man they call JRT.
He rose to basketball and social notoriety in high school when he starred in the Apple TV show Swagger, which is inspired by Kevin Durant's basketball upbringing. He said that him and his co-star Isaiah Hill would work on their games together on set, sometimes filming plays for 11 hours a day. Coach Gerlison told Anscape that after they signed Rivera Torres, they watched the show and got a kick out of having a celebrity actor on the roster. But when it comes to his fit on the team, he falls right in line with what guys look like here, and he can be as good as anyone that has been at USF.
Either of you two watch Swagger? I got to check that out. I think it's on Apple TV Plus, he said. How about you, Doc?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. I may have to check that out as well. I'm watching it start right in front of me.
26-24, USF up by 2. Pacific with the ball, and Tyre take the lead with a 3. Nice rotation around the outside. 3 in and out for Kravakovic, but another possession.
Before that shot, both teams were 3 for 30 from behind the arc.
It has not been the best shooting half. That was a nice dish, though. And Caney's with his second dunk.
That was set up again by Washington, getting to the teeth of the defense. All eyes on him. He finds Caney on the baseline driving for the dunk.
He averages 6 assists per game, does Washington. And we are tied at 26. Ball pried free from Thomas. Kravakovic. Washington wide open for 3.
A walk-up 3 by Washington. Again, both teams are struggling. 2 for 17 now from behind the arc.
Rivera Torres, he couldn't hit it. And Wong going to be called for the foul going after the rebound. Well, you're right, Doc. I mean, this has been wild to see. These are pretty good three-point shooting teams, especially USF. They average 9 per game, 35% on the year. But let's see. I'm going to do a little quick math here. The teams are now a combined 3 for 33 beyond the arc.
Yeah, you're talking about 11% for the Tigers and 6% for the Dons.
Well, we can only go up in the second half. They're both due. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Chris Caney. And he gets the front end.
And when you look at this offense, it reminds you of like a four corners offense with only 27 points for Pacific so far. 27-26. Who would ever thunk that in this modern era of basketball?
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more points in the second half. As Caney's goes 1 for 2 at the line. Good battle for the rebound, but it'll be USF ball.
You typically see this score 27-26 at about 12 minutes in the first half.
Yeah. About a 11-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. As Williams out for Wong. Nearly lost it. It's on the floor and out of bounds. They're going to say last by Pacific. How about that hounding defense, though, from Caney's?
Yeah, 50-50 balls getting on the floor. And we talked about it earlier. The Tigers lost by 8 at the Spano Center, so they came in here with the right idea, thinking they can steal one this evening on senior night.
Lingard left open. He can't find the range. Caney's has the rebound. Pacific with a 1-point lead can hold for the final shot. And they're going to use a 30-second timeout. The 10 points have matched his career high, and we're still in the first half.
Yes, I was looking to see if Washington checks back into the game. So he wanted to get his point guard into the game, probably some sort of screen roll action. Try to get him involved in this play. We talked about it. Fisher's been their go-to guy.
He's triple teamed and whistles. No shot, but a foul called, and that is going to be free throws. It's the 19th foul. Will be a 1-and-1.
And that's a great, as I mentioned, that's a great timeout because, again, you have an opportunity to get to the free throw line. So, worst case, you'll at least have the lead going into the half if you can make both free throws, or if you knock down the three, they'll go even into half.
That foul was called on Lingard, his second personal. Fisher, 73% free throw shooter. And he gets the front end. Elijah Fisher, junior from Toronto, 15.5 points per game this year. A guy who was a consensus 5-star recruit out of high school a couple of years back. One more free throw, and he gets it to go. 4.8 seconds to work with for the Dons. Beasley, like a bolt of lightning down the court, and he beats the buzzer.
And do the things they've been doing all season long. They said 15-0 with a staple win on their resume against St. Mary's this season.
Let's see how it all plays out. USF with the first possession here in half number 2. Williams. Thomas gets an open look and hits the three. And just like that, they've matched their three-point production from the whole first half.
And so that's something that they worked on. That was on the whiteboard. Nice job by Williams to get downhill, that baseline drift. Let's find his teammate for the three ball.
Gardner had a good look but couldn't finish, and now Thomas the other way, attacking right to the rim. And that's 5 quick points for Malik Thomas.
And I'm sure the conversation at halftime was we have to come out aggressive. First 2 opportunities, a 3 and a 2. They're able to score here again. I'm sure Coach Smart's going to call a timeout.
Thomas into double figures with 10 points. USF up by 4. Pacific trying to answer. Fisher nearly lost it, gets it to Koulibaly. Couldn't hit the three. They battle for the rebound, and Gardner came away with it. Washington from right in front of his bench. And Riley collects the defensive rebound for USF.
The Tigers have to be careful here. Turnover, the situation there. Nice high hands by Williams.
Came right back to Washington. Fisher with all day to line it up, and it wouldn't fall. So the pace definitely picking up here early in the second half.
I was suspicion if USF scores here, the Tigers will call a timeout.
First 5 of the half to USF. They lead it 33-29. This is their biggest lead of the night. Deep three from Thomas. There's Lingard for the offensive rebound.
Second chance opportunities, reset your offense.
Riley puts it on the deck. Over the top, and a foul called. A little bit of a late whistle, but this will be 2 free throws coming.
Yeah, Riley had a mouse in the house with Tom and Jerry action inside. They able to get the foul. You see the foul right on the arm by Washington. That's his second personal foul. So far, so good. The Dons came over 5 consecutive points here. Has an opportunity to tack on a couple more.
Riley 2 for 2 at the line tonight. And now 3 for 3. 73% free throw shooter for the season. So I think you're right, Doc. I mean, this feels like an important point in this game for Pacific. USF is making a push. If you're the Tigers, you've got to push back and stay close.
Yeah, your goal when you're coming out of halftime, and particularly when you're down, you want to make the team that's winning to call the first time out. Therefore, that lets you know that you are taking the momentum of the game.
Burke Smith, smothered by O'Donnell, shovels it to Washington. Going against Marcus Williams, the preseason all-conference selection. And how about the hands from Tyrone Riley?
A great double team. High hands defensively.
Thomas stepped out of bounds. 7 turnovers for each team.
Thomas with the false step, stepped out of bounds.
So Pacific still looking for their first points of the half. USF on a 7-0 run out of the halftime locker room. Elias Ralph hands it off for Koulibaly. This Don's defense is just relentless. They make everything difficult.
Yeah, 34%. They're trapping the ball screens as well, double teaming. 12 areas on the floor you want to trap on. They're forcing the Tigers to those areas.
Ralph to beat the shot clock. And an offensive rebound for Smith. Koulibaly on the deck. Shot blocked by Wong, but a foul. Might have got him with the body. And free throws coming.
So the drive to the rim, you take a look right here. There's the foul, the lower half of the body. Wayne with the foul.
Jefferson Koulibaly going to the line for 2. Let's check in with Sophia Jones, who had a chance to catch up with one of the coaches at halftime.
I spoke to assistant coach playing during the half, asked him what the team needs to do offensively to get into a rhythm and see some more shots fall. He told me he felt like his team was hesitant and passed up some shots, and they need to continue being confident and moving the ball. He then added in the second half they need to pick up the pace on all sides. Physicality and execution of game plan need to improve.
Thank you, Sophia. So far, so good for USF as they scored the first 7 of the half, but Koulibaly puts Pacific on the board with a couple of free throws.
And it goes back to my point. I felt they were playing tight, so the assistant coach kind of echoes that as well.
Wong, the step through, good defense from the Tigers, and here goes Washington. All the way to the rim, and it's a 2-point game again.
Nice job by Washington. The first rule of thumb is to stop the basketball. No one stopped Washington. It went right to the front of the rim for the layup.
Williams, the back cut from Wong, tipped out of bounds, still USF ball.
The Tigers took that first blow, got off the mat.
You see the coaching there from Chris Gurlifson to Wong. Nice hands by Ralph to knock it out of bounds. Thomas, pretty pass, and the hammer. Carlton Lingard Jr.
Thomas did a great job of getting downhill. The defender had to come off. Lingard was right there, right man, right spot, was able to get it and flush it on.
First bucket of the night for Carlton Lingard. 37-33 Dons. Washington, pretty crossover. Ripped away, got it back. Fisher, aggressive move and lays it home.
Fisher went up with bad intentions, was able to finish.
And now here come the Tigers again off the turnover. Washington to Ralph. Met at the rim by Lingard. It bounces to Gardner. The hook shot rolls in, and we're tied at 37.
I love the jump hook over the left shoulder. The money shot, was able to get inside, use his length.
So how about Pacific with a nice response? They've come back to tie this game with 15 minutes to go. Thomas from the elbow. Well, he's a guy who can score at all 3 levels. So tough to defend because he's got it all in his bag. He's got 12 points now.
See, the pace of this game is much more active.
Yeah, back and forth we go. Beasley, the one-man fast break. Thomas, wide open. Came up short, put back Abosi wouldn't go.
Abosi had an opportunity, wide open, put back, not able to finish.
Good hands from Lingard, back to Fisher.
I'd like to see a better pass into the post by Fisher in that situation there.
Somehow got it to Ralph, who lays it in, plus the foul. Chance at a 3-point play for Elias Ralph.
So interesting play there. Dave Smart was calling time.
Go places. So a chance at a 3-point play for Elias Ralph. Get one free throw here, trying to put Pacific back on top.
And as you recall, USF came out with a lot of energy. They would take the lead, but the Tigers have fought themselves all the way back. Knotted at 39.
Tigers 5 for 9 now at the free throw line. USF 9 for 13 as O'Donnell lost it out of bounds.
And we mentioned that when you're on the road, Ben, you want to take advantage of those free throws and you got to knock those down. At minimum, you like to be at least 75% because you're leaving points on the floor. It's come back to haunt you late in the games.
Lamar Washington, good first step. Fisher in the post for Smith. And now back to Fisher. Still 12 on the shot clock. Fisher, the hook comes up short, rebounded by Riley.
Great defense by the Dons. Trying to turn the water off of Fisher.
Pacific's got to feel really good about where they're at right now. They have hung with the Dons all night long, trying to pull off the upset. Williams to O'Donnell. Good position.
Nice job by O'Donnell not to panic. Pass was low. Step through. It's a steal in the backcourt and the foul for the and one.
How quick was that for Malik Thomas?
Personal foul, Pacific, number
There's a chance to go to the free throw line right after that and add to this lead.
Second team foul.
Score by any means necessary. Nice job by Thomas to take the inbound.
Thomas at the line for San Francisco.
Well, we told you he leads the league in steals too, 1.8 per game, as well as scoring.
You're playing on both sides of the basketball.
And he hits the first free throw now, 4 for 4 at the line tonight, 84% rather for the season.
So they didn't count the basket, so it's 2 traditional free throws.
And he hits them both. Malik Thomas really coming to life in this second half. He's got 14 points, 9 of them in this half. And he'll get a breather.
You expect that from the senior.
13 minutes to go, 4-point lead for the Dons. Kravakovic. Ralph fakes the three, drives past Wong, draws a foul.
USF foul number 35, Barry Wong. Third personal.
I like that move by Elias Ralph. And he gets to the line where he shoots 76%.
Yeah, shot lift, attack the glass with a rack attack. Opportunity now for free throws. Coach Smart is not happy with the offense.
2 shots.
Let's see if Ralph can convert. He missed a free throw moments ago. Makes that one. The senior from Alberta, Canada, 15 points, 7 rebounds per game this year. Both in the top 10 of the WCC. Transferred from the University of Victoria. And only able to go 1 for 2 at the line. So you're right, Joaquin. I think both these teams, if they lose this game, will be looking at some of the missed opportunities from the free throw line.
Yeah, 6 for 11. That's just not going to cut it on the road, especially when you're looking to upset a team.
Nice shot by Ryan Beasley, a deep 2, and the lead back to 5 for San Francisco.
Yeah, Beasley with 8 points off the bench has been solid.
He's been efficient too, 4 for 6 from the field. And we got a whistle. Foul away from the ball is going to go against James O'Donnell, I believe.
USF, number 11, James O'Donnell, his first.
That's his first personal, 4 team fouls now for USF.
Checks in for the Tigers. He replaces Elias Ralph.
Well, Pacific has been hanging around the whole night. Neither team has led by more than 6 points, and that's going to be called a travel.
That's the first travel. University of Pacific has done a great job of not turning the ball over in that fashion.
Don's looking for a little separation here. Beasley whips it across for Riley. Hands it to O'Donnell, but it's knocked away from him.
O'Donnell had an opportunity, tried to gather himself.
And Fisher on the receiving end of the dime from Washington. Back to a 3-point game. What a move by Thomas. The pump fake and the finish. And they're going to call a foul too. A late whistle, but a chance for a 3-point play from Malik Thomas.
Yes, Smith with the foul. Thomas was able to get inside the painted area, came to a jump stop, elevated over the top.
Ben Ross, Dr. Joaquin Wallace, and Sophia Jones with you tonight from War Memorial Gym. On the hilltop, we got a good one going. USF leading Pacific 47-42. Just over 11 and a half minutes remaining.
I tell you what, if you look at where the 5 points are at, Pacific is 6 for 11. The Dons are 11 for 15. That's 5 points. That's the difference in this game so far. As we mentioned earlier, Pacific will look at those free throws missed if they happen to lose this game.
And one more coming here from Malik Thomas, but he can't convert. So Thomas leading all scorers with 16 points, 11 of them in this half.
Both teams have made 17 field goals. Both teams are 2 for 20 from behind the arc, identical.
Wow. Krvakovic had a pretty good look, but couldn't knock it down. So the three-point shooting has really been a struggle all night on both sides. USF up by 5, a chance to extend this to their biggest lead. Thomas came up short.
Nice shot by Thomas, though. Took the screen. Mid-range jumper, was not able to finish the deal.
Entry pass into the post. Fisher. Pass read and intercepted by Riley. Look out below.
It's a nice job by Riley reading the eyes of Fisher as they're putting him into the post and posting him up and allowing him to make the pass.
Biggest lead of the night, 49-42 Dons. Fisher trying to back down Thomas. He wouldn't budge, but whistled for a foul.
So that's a matchup they feel they can win. They're posting up Fisher on both sides of the block. Last time, they posted up Fisher, tried the diagonal pass, and was stolen by Riley. Again, there's a double team. They recognize and trying to turn his water off. Done a good job so far in the second half.
That's now 5 fouls for USF this half. Second personal on Thomas. Pacific trying to stay within striking distance here, down by 7, midway through the second half. Fisher against Robbie Beasley. Pass to the cutting Ralph, trying to get his own rebound. They battle underneath, and a foul on Lingard.
As you mentioned, Ralph is continuous on the glass. The initial block went up strong. Now he has an opportunity for free throw. You can see right here, gets his own rebound, almost stepped out of bounds. There's the foul on the floor.
That's 3 on Carlton Lingard. And Elias Ralph back to the free throw line, 76% foul shooter. Nothing but net on the first one.
So Ben, what they're doing, speaking of Dave Smart, he's posting up Fisher and allowing Fisher to initiate the offense out of the lower block. So they double team, he's looking for the skip out. Last time out, Riley did a great job of reading that for the live ball turnover.
Ralph gets the friendly roll, and 2 for 2 at the line makes it a 5-point game again.
Still in contact, plenty of time remaining.
It's been a fun game. These teams have really battled hard. The compete level, especially on the defensive end, has been outstanding. Ryan Beasley has been really good off the bench. 10 points now, 5 of 7 from the field.
Got to a sweet spot, took the screen and roll, elevated right at the free throw line. The mid-range game, the lost art, coming into play this evening.
This game has featured 9 lead changes, 6 ties. Fisher into the paint. Pretty.
So again, you see that getting Fisher on either the left block or the right block and allowing him to initiate the offense. He split the double team there, was able to score.
Beasley feeling it, couldn't hit from the baseline. And now the Tigers into the front court, Lamar Washington. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. Ralph has his pocket picked. Ryan Beasley with numbers. Williams lays it in.
That's a great job by Beasley coming around on a double team from behind. Ralph did not see it. Another live ball turnover. Williams was able to finish with the left hand.
11 turnovers now for Pacific. 10 for USF. And again, it's a 7-point lead. Caney's well off with the 3.
Caney's with 10 points in that first quarter. First half, has not been able to get on track. Season high so far off the bench. USF has an opportunity here. They're able to knock down the long ball to go up by 10. And the way this game is played, 10 points. It seemed like a tall hill to climb for the Tigers.
Deep 3 from Williams, too strong.
And Williams felt if he could knock down the 3, get a 10-point lead, bodes well.
Fisher, pretty move, couldn't hit the shot, gets his own rebound back. And it goes flying out of bounds. Whose ball is it? The officials confer with one another. It'll stay on this end.
The official's been a one-man wrecking crew. Needs some of his teammates to step up and help him. Leading all scores with 17 points.
Hey, you gotta love the energy he plays with. Washington struggling to get it in. That's a 5-second count. So another turnover for UOP. Although, I don't know. Let's see. The referees want to get together. Nope, they don't. It's a turnover.
And that 5-second call right in front of the bench. Because Dave Smart definitely not happy, pleased about that.
Williams running the offense. Pretty pass to O'Donnell. And this is the biggest lead of the night for either team. USF up by 9.
And that's his 4th assist of the game as well. Nice job finding O'Donnell for the dump off.
Washington hesitation move. Tough shot, draws a foul.
I feel Washington to go to that more often, look for his offense. Easy baskets, what bodes well for the Dons of USF.
Lamar Washington, couple of free throws here for the junior from Portland, Oregon, makes the first one.
And couple that with 15 points on turnovers. That's a recipe for success for the Dons so far after a sluggish first half.
Washington, an 82% free throw shooter, knocks them both down.
I would anticipate Washington to look for his offense here in the remaining 7 minutes.
He's got 8 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. As Thomas gets into the paint. Spinning, nearly got it to fall. It goes out of bounds. And Pacific basketball.
That was a nice job by Thomas keeping his pivot foot.
Number 0, Jefferson Koulibaly returns for the Tigers.
We mentioned earlier Lamar Washington closing in on the single season Pacific record for assists. He's now up to 173. That's 5 away from the record. Figure he's going to get it probably next game. As Koulibaly has a look at a 3. Boy, the triples are just not falling on either side. And we have a travel call. So turnover gives it back to Pacific.
Yeah, Williams with the initial rebound took a hop step right in front of the official. So now Coach Smart and his Tigers have a chance to run a baseline out of bounds play to try to get a bucket.
Fisher for Koulibaly. Right into the teeth of that defense. And too strong with the floater.
And Koulibaly had a great look. Again, the offense is generated by Fisher in the lower block. The double team, and he's finding the open man cutting to the front of the rim. You have to convert those type of baskets.
Thomas creates some space, banks it in, plus the foul.
We talked about Thomas starting to take over, get activated. That's his 18th point. The bank is open. Went through drive-through, was able to convert, get the cash. He has opportunity for the three-point play.
A cash withdrawal at 8:42 p.m. local time.
Following the good basket, Malik Thomas shoots
And as you
one.
mentioned, Thomas with 18 points. He's got 13 in this half. He has come to life, but can't convert at the line. Saved. Great effort over there by Krivakapic.
Yeah, both teams are shooting less than 70% from the free throw line. It's not bode well.
Well, that's going to be a foul on USF away from the ball and a 1-and-1 for UOP.
Ryan Beasley, his second.
Ryan Beasley picking up his second personal. So here's an opportunity at the line for the Tigers, a 1-and-1.
This is what you want to do. You want to be able to score with a dead clock in this situation here. Fisher's been the one-man wrecking crew, as you mentioned earlier. Pacing with 17 points.
Fisher gets the front end. I am telling you, I'm stunned by the three-point struggles from both teams. Pacific is 2 for 23. USF 2 for 21. As that free throw wouldn't fall.
And both were struggling, in particular, UOP from the free throw line. 18 points, number 5 scorer in the WCC. We're speaking of Fisher.
Deep three from Beasley, in and out. Well, USF, when they won in Stockton last month, they made 14 threes in that game.
You can tell the difference. You have to play inside the arc tonight.
And it's going to be last touch by Pacific.
The Pacific has, the Achilles heel has been turning the ball over. As I mentioned earlier, 15 points on turnovers by the Dons. You couple that with fast break points as well. That's a recipe for success.
Chris Gurlifson calls for time, 5:46 remaining. The last time they went undefeated at home in a season, 44 years ago, 1980-81. And as we've talked about, a win tonight would also clinch at least a triple bye in the WCC tournament to the quarterfinal round. They still have a chance to get the quadruple bye into the semifinals. Remember, they still play Gonzaga one more time this year. Pass from Williams to Riley. Off the side of the backboard, he got it back somehow. 5 on the shot clock. He's pinned in the corner and calls timeout. What a play.
UOP did a great job of switching their defense to a zone defense. Stifle the Dons coming out of, if the basket is made, it will pay off. But in this situation here, if the basket is not, if they're not able to score it, that could be a costly timeout.
So you got to get a shot up quick. Williams to Thomas in the corner. The step through and beats the buzzer. Ridiculous.
So Thomas broke out his do-it-yourself kit, was able to knock that down. So the timeout proved to be excellent in that situation there.
Oh, Riley picked the pocket and kept it in bounds. Thomas for 3. Connects! Malik Thomas is feeling it.
So 23 points for the senior. We talked about it, leading the conference in scoring, showing why tonight in the second half. Was able to get untracked, start to percolate. Now he's fully activated.
And all of a sudden, it's a 13-point lead for USF. Smith can't answer. And now the Dons want to run some clock. We're going to make that step through from Malik Thomas, our ever-good sausage play of the game. As O'Donnell puts it in plus the foul. Now all of a sudden USF can't miss.
And that's a great entry pass by Beasley. As O'Donnell was able to go over his left shoulder with a jump hook. So now you're starting to see the Dons to impose their will. We talked about it earlier. In the first half, you've seen they was playing somewhat tight. Now they was able to loosen up, led by their man, Thomas, leading the lead and scoring 23 points tonight so far.
Well, the Dons this half are now 15 for 25 from the field. Better than 50% as O'Donnell missed the free throw, but a 7-0 run has opened up a 15-point lead.
Yeah, they're shooting 47% for the game. One person that you have to tip your hat to is Beasley off the bench.
Washington will get to the free throw line.
Beasley with 10 points, 5 for 9, very efficient. 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Timeout on the floor.
Well, we'll take our final media timeout of the night. 3:55 to go. USF has opened up a 15-point lead as they close in on a perfect home season.
Played extremely well. I mean, that's what you expect from your senior. As we mentioned earlier, we highlighted him at the top of the telecast. He's leading the WCC in scoring at 19 points a game, and he came out very aggressive in the second half, and he pretty much led his team to this potential victory.
It's now his 14th game with at least 20 points this year, as Lamar Washington to the free throw line and puts an end to that 7-0 run. Washington, the transfer from Texas Tech, 82% from the free throw line this year, and he makes them both.
You know, I'm looking at the first half stats. 35% the Dons were shooting going in to halftime.
They're up to 47% now. They have heated up in this second half. Shot blocked there by Ralph.
Yeah, absolutely. They're shooting 60% in the second half, and that's been the difference in the game so far.
That'll get the job done. Ralph for Fisher, going to step into a 3 and hit. Pacific not done yet. 10-point game. Elijah Fisher, 21 points to lead the Tigers. This is Ryan Beasley for Riley. Fakes the 3, drives, and draws contact.
The energy level for USF has been on display coming out of halftime. They understand the sense of urgency. I felt they were playing tight in the first half. So they identified that at halftime. They came out and ran the play right out of halftime. Was able to get the 3 ball in the corner on Malik Williams, and it's been pretty much on the go since then.
Riley, high arcing free throw is good. Tyrone Riley having a nice game as well now, 13 points and 8 rebounds for the freshman. Riley also with 4 steals. He's had a couple that have led to big jams too.
Number 13, Robbie Beasley for Malik Thomas.
USF looking for their 8th straight win over Pacific. This is the 116th meeting all time between these schools.
They've scored 38 points this half.
After just 28 in the first half. And that's a travel before the shot.
I'll tell you what, I'm a fan of Fisher's game.
Beasley. Around the screen from O'Donnell. Quick release, in and out. And rebounded by Canes. Nice crossover by Washington. Right into the paint. Missed the shot. Ralph battles for the rebound. O'Donnell stayed right with him. Washington will reset, 10 on the shot clock.
I tell you, Ralph scored his 5 points in the first half. So pretty much kept him under wraps.
Gets a timeout there. see if this is a 30-second timeout. I suspect it will be. So we'll keep it right here. Exactly 2 minutes remain.
For the Dons, 3 out of 25. So this game is a mirror image of one another.
Got to go quick. Ralph into the paint, draws the contact, and he'll get to the line. That's to your point.
That's what they draw it up. They try to get to the free throw line, hope that they can score here, take advantage of it. And then in full court press, try to turn you over in the backcourt.
One of the luxuries for USF in this situation is having ball handlers like a Marcus Williams, like a Malik Thomas.
And then you have Beasley, who will most likely be running the point.
Yeah.
So you have 3 guards on the floor. So they're not short of any ball handlers at all. And Beasley's done a great job initiating the offense.
The free throws have been a problem tonight, as you said, for both teams. Now Pacific, 13 for 21, just 62%.
So you can point to a lot of points they've left on the floor. Well, both teams have, but when you're on the road, you have to take advantage of those opportunities.
Williams dribbling some clock. Jump shot is good.
So Williams was able to negotiate the screen and roll. Nice mid-range jumper.
Marcus Williams becomes the 4th Don in double figures. He's got 11. Fisher quickly to the basket. And Dave Smart will use a timeout.
Timeout Pacific.
They had 2 remaining, so each team now will have 1.
Timeout charged to the Tigers.
And this will be a full timeout.
And you can see why Fisher's one of the top scorers in the conference as well. Went into his bag, put his defender in the spin.
Court pressure from Pacific. Easily gets it in for Thomas. That's a good guy to have it if you're USF. And he brings it to the front court with no trouble.
And that's the advantage they have. You have Thomas, Williams,
1 minute.
and Beasley on the floor.
Multiple ball handlers for Chris Gurlifson. 7 on the shot clock. Williams for Thomas. Can he hit another one? Off the back rim. Offensive rebound, Riley.
Second chance opportunities, a great time just to run the clock out at this point here.
Yeah, Pacific won't bother fouling, it looks like. So USF going to complete the perfect season at home. Williams with the exclamation point.
Williams with a dagger 3. So a game that started off kind of sluggish, 71 points.
Chris Caney's now with a new career high. That gives him 12 points. But it won't be enough. Shot clock turned off. USF going to dribble it out. A 71-58 victory. And let's see. I think Chris Gurlifson maybe wants to get a couple of guys into the game at the last moment. He's going to use his last time out for a couple of substitutions here. Maybe wants to give Marcus Williams a round of applause. Plus he brings in Carl Poom, the freshman from Estonia. And Malik Thomas gets a nice hand.
It's a nice job by the head coach to allow his seniors to walk off the floor in victory. Get recognized by the student body.
We'll be joined by Chris Gurlifson shortly after this buzzer sounds. USF finishes the season 16-0 at home. They improved to 22-7 on the season overall.